see another day to honor and praise you, Father, for this meeting. We pray that bless upon this mayor and this board, Alderman, and all the citizens. Forgive us for sin and trespasses against thee, and thank you for your son.
Before we adopt the agenda, there's a matter to be presented to the board. I just discovered through the city attorney, Ms. Kim Banks, that Mr. Mike Espy wants to come from the Board of Supervisors and the county.
Yeah, he wants to come from the Mega Site Fire District specifically.
And speak to us specifically about the Mega Site Fire District. That is one item. And the other item is that of Mr. Rico Taylor, who is here today to be placed on the agenda. Attorney Taylor, could you step forward, please, and share with the board why you want to be placed on the agenda? Usually what happens, Attorney Taylor, is that the board meets and has a work session.
Yes.
On Monday, and usually what happens is that everything that's covered in the work session is put on the agenda. There are exceptions I need to share with you. So I wanted you to share with the board your request.
May I proceed?
You may, yes, sir.
All right. Good evening, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, sir.
Well, I humbly come before the board today to bring a matter concerning, not a concern, but a personal request that I asked for the Board of Aldermen and the mayor. Recently, my mom passed away, Miss Janetta Cole, on February the 8th, last Tuesday. And we are in the proceeds of having her memorial service finalized. And I would come to the board asking that we are having a funeral on this upcoming Saturday, February 19th, at Precinct Chapel. But following the service, we will be having a repast. And as you know, many of y'all that's familiar with Ms. Cole and Ward 6 and Ward 5, her street encompasses both areas. And I was coming for a request to ask that the board allow us to block off the top part of the Northwest Street intersection, and I think that's with George Washington, for an hour, or for 2 to 3 hours. First off, just to kind of cut down, back off from traffic, people come in and out of the street, and also just to allow us to have that time at that area, just for 2 to 3 hours, to memorialize my mom and her final homegoing. And that's what I came to the board today for that request. Just to ask, see what you all think about it, and see where we can go with that.
Thank you, Ms. Amos.
Chief.
Oh, Chief, I'm sorry. Chief Brown.
All right. Due to the fact that it's at this late hour, like to say, the mayor said that you should have should have came, asked, and be on the agenda for yesterday. But due to that, this late hour, security-wise, we wouldn't be able to handle that. I know the family. I'm part of the family. It's a big family, and if we're going to shut down that whole street for the top end of it for about 2-3 hours, we still, if the board desires, we still would have to have a pathway to get emergency service in and out. We still would have to have that. We'll try to accommodate y'all the best we could, but blocking off the street, I wouldn't advise the board to do that.
You could do like intermittent traffic control, maybe something like that.
Yes. But it's not blocking it off for,
How does intermittent traffic control work?
I mean, even if we block it off just for a few minutes to let people kind of work in and get in where they need to be at the park, where they need to be,
I see what you're
still leaving, still leaving emergency areas so we can get in and out. And I'm quite sure Mr. Brown will have his people to do that. But as long as somebody there when they first start parking, that would help keep down. Somebody already there and say, hey, we're just gonna leave this open. Yeah, we can do it that way. Yes.
Would that be a suitable alternative, Chief?
Yes, that's fine. Yes, we could do it like that. That'd be fine. Yes.
Asking him,
Oh,
Excuse me, I do
yes, sir.
apologize.
Would that work? I mean,
Yes, that would, I mean, that was a great alternative. I appreciate that.
Yes.
That's a great alternative.
Okay.
all right.
Thank you so very much, and I was asked the board for two motions. One motion is to place Mike Espy, Attorney Mike Espy, on the agenda under item 5, so it would be 5B. And may I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Tim Taylor, aye.
Esco, aye. Wells, aye.
give the air.
Motion carried. The next item that is asked of the board is to place on the agenda under 5C would be the intermittent traffic control at George Washington and Northwest at the request of Attorney Rico Taylor. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Tim Taylor, aye.
Esco, aye. Wells, aye.
Give the air.
Before you go, Attorney Taylor,
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna wait till the motion's carried. I'm sorry.
Has the motion finished? I think is that the motion carried?
It was
I think it's
unanimous.
unanimous,
Yeah,
yeah.
we had
So
6 votes.
both motions are placed on the agenda.
Right.
Now the mayor will call for the adoption of the agenda.
And
Do we have
before
a
you,
motion?
and Mayor, before you go forth with the adoption of the agenda, may I speak
Yes, sir.
with Attorney Taylor while he's at the podium? In light of everything that's going on, deeply saddened to hear about your mother. She was just here in November, coming before us, wanting the speed bumps over there on Northwest Street. So, in lieu of everything, deepest condolences are with you. And as they always say, when you lose a mother, you really lost something. And I can bear witness to that. So just do what you're doing, continue to make us smile. And as the old African proverb states, the only way that you can keep a loved one's spirit alive, you have to continue to call their name.
Thank you.
Continue to call their name. Okay, man.
Thank you all.
All right, thank you.
Did we get a motion to adopt the agenda?
You were stating,
Oh, I'm sorry. The mayor asked for a motion to adopt the agenda.
so moved.
Second.
So,
We have a what?
Second.
All in favor?
Esco, aye.
Tim Taylor, aye.
Give the air.
Wells, aye.
Motion carried. The mayor requested a motion to approve the claims docket.
Good. No, okay.
Do we have a motion?
Have you,
Aye.
have you reviewed the claim document?
I have, yeah.
I have. Okay, yeah, I have. Yeah. I'd like to make a motion to approve the claim document.
I'll second the motion with an unreadiness.
As a second of the motion with an unreadiness, but what causes the unreadiness?
I'm looking at the payment to Mansell, and I know they haven't been here in a while, but I know the young lady did tell me the internet services and all that, not internet, Facebook and all that they do. So I guess my question is, with the Facebook page, if they're not here, then how do we get Facebook upgrades, information?
Are you asking this young lady?
Well, yeah, yeah.
So what we do for Facebook is Facebook posting. That includes your Instagram accounts, YouTube, and I'm trying to remember. That includes your Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and your website as well. So it's not just for Facebook live streaming.
Okay.
Mhm.
See, I didn't know we had an Instagram account.
Yeah, you have the Facebook, the Instagram, YouTube, I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure about Twitter, but I can get back to you on that. And you have your website that we do upgrades to as far as posting on the website, updating the website, and working on remodeling it just a little bit, and posting the agendas and things of that nature.
What information are you getting from us and from whom are you getting it?
Yeah.
I've been trying to reach out to get more information, but usually it comes from one of my other coworkers, Kiyoshi. She'll get the information from someone here, and they'll send her events that are happening in the area, different events happening throughout Canton. And so she'll post those, and we also have someone else working on graphics and different things that we find happening in Canton, as well as the businesses in Canton.
Okay. Any questions?
What are those addresses?
It needs to come from the authority.
And, yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Addresses?
So you don't have a point person here, that's in an authoritative position?
Not with me. I just come to do the Facebook Live.
So do you know who approves
Yes.
the content?
Yes, so Clay Mansell, he approves the content. He goes through the entire account. We all look at the account as well as the website manager is, Karen.
Okay. Let me introduce you to Ms.
Clay Manson, what he's over the account,
The entire business
okay.
for
so
Manson Media.
that's-
Mhm.
You have his contact number?
Yes,
Can we get it?
yes,
No,
ma'am.
sir, my question, my
The
question
information.
yeah, my question is, who from the
City gives you information.
approves
But she said she didn't know, cause she didn't handle that
I
part.
don't
She
know.
handles it with a
I
call.
just
She
do the
just come
Facebook.
here and do the, but Clay Manson would know,
Yeah,
Mhm.
Clay Manson.
and that's why I asked for his contact
He's
number.
the executive.
He knows who he contacted, but she just come here and do the legwork. But she,
May I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Does anyone in here at this very moment approve the content?
No.
No.
On Facebook, that's often, the mayor's office, and also I send it on Facebook.
is it Anthony then?
Facebook.
Or who?
But
Anthony-
sends stuff.
He does send stuff to us as well for posting anything that happened.
May I get your information before you?
Yes,
Okay.
I'll definitely get that to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What was the motion on the claim back?
That was no motion, I still had it unread.
Unread.
Okay, there's a
All right.
readiness by Alderman Taylor.
Yeah, this is to Kurt Brown, what is Oriental Trading? And here it says Black History Learning Charts,
Yes.
what is that?
It's not from my department, I think it's from Parks and
Hey,
Rec.
it was something we ordered for Parks and Recreation. Fire department, that's what we use to buy supplies and stuff at. We had purchased the equipment due to the fact before the Black History Program was canceled.
I got you, okay. All right, and, P-Man Corporation. What is that?
I can't hear you.
P-Man Corporation.
What's your account number?
Looks like 001-100-541.
That's the police department?
Okay, what is that? We got
Yes,
to see.
sir.
I didn't understand what you said it was.
P-Man Corporation.
He has involved.
P-Man.
Yes, sir.
P-M-A.
I was saying, I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Let me look at it. Let me look and see. You got yours?
Yeah.
Capital management is PMMAM.
It was P-Man.
Yeah, what I said.
You see,
He what?
PMAM Corporation.
Yeah, what is that?
It's Human SAS Capital Management.
I have to see what that is, Mr. Taylor.
Okay,
I think invoice for you.
Yes.
okay,
You want the invoice?
please.
Yes, ma'am.
That's 772.
So now,
7772.50.
I'm sorry. You got it, that's right. And, while we're waiting on, Clerk Brown,
Dickinson Petroleum. That's probably Mr. Garrett. Mr. Garrett,
Yes, sir.
Dickinson Petroleum.
Dickinson Petroleum is, where we purchase bulk, we purchase the fuel treatment, for the equipment.
Okay.
That's those bottles of,
Deaf,
death fluid.
yeah,
We purchase in bulk loads.
okay. All right. Haven't seen that.
and I think this next one would be, more suitable for, Attorney Banks, Argent Trust. And it says refundable, so are we being refunded $22,000?
Now that I don't know, I'm gonna say, because
Oh.
I haven't seen the backup for that, so.
Is
If you
that-
wanna request the backup for that from Clerk Brown, you need to do that too.
I got you, okay. General
How do you
obligation.
spell that, hold on, Michelle?
I'm sorry,
How do you spell it?
ARGNT.
Argent.
You need to- If you wanna request the backup from that, from her, you can do that as well.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yes, it's refund.
Mine readiness is, complete. Thanks.
No, it's not complete.
No.
Your answers,
You need
I
to.
can't move on until history's out.
Right.
Do you have whatever he's referring to with Argent? The backup?
Argent Trust.
Oh, okay, okay.
Argent Financial,
Trust.
Who are they?
It's,
that's some of the equipment out of the Public Works Department, am I correct, Mr. Miller? Yeah, the numbers are on the side, actually, you on the account, so you'll know. what the
that's
accounts are.
200-390?
That's Public Works.
Yes.
You give us a cheap one?
Yes, it is.
Equipment. Financed through,
That's equipment finance through Argent Financial?
yes.
Okay, so that's, it says general
Do they owe
obligation.
us or we owe them?
No, we owe them.
Okay. It says general obligation bond refunding.
Mhm.
Okay, that's what we pay them.
Oh, we're refunding them back?
No,
That's one of the obligation loans.
that's one of our loans, our obligation loans,
Okay,
levied for the equipment that we purchased for public works.
okay. So I guess the
Refunding word was,
the verbiage is refund.
yeah, it says general obligation bond refunding.
See,
Oh,
see,
When OC came before us, they said refund.
okay,
Mhm.
Yes, I see that.
Argent, okay.
okay.
Even though it's a pay.
Right,
I got you, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Account is refunded.
Okay.
The account name is refunded.
it's refunding, okay.
Mhm.
The account name is what?
Refunded.
Oh, Argent Refunding?
Mhm.
Obligation refunding account.
Okay. Any other questions about Argent Refunding? What's the balance on that account?
What equipment is it for?
And what equipment is it for?
It's gonna be the equipment that we purchase, under, you gonna get the invoice?
I was saying, I've got to get the invoice.
Is it
Okay,
on the
but-
computer?
That was one of the things,
What equipment is it?
It's gonna be for the skid steers, backhoes, and the excavator.
So you're saying we approved to pay for it out of the GO bond, is that what you're saying?
But that's how it come to us.
Or we
Harvest
approved to
Geo
pay
Fund.
for it out of the loan?
I thought it was a loan.
I can't speak over the
Just
top.
a,
from the
just
top
a
of my head.
backhoe and excavator
I
and
would
what?
have to go get that, cause I can't speak on.
Skid steer.
A what? A steer?
Skid,
Steer.
yes, sir.
So
Those
thi-
three items, okay, those three items there are probably gonna cost about $150,000 altogether. So these are lease payments?
Yes, sir.
I thought we were paying lease payments monthly, I thought.
Was supposed to be.
Yeah, cause I've never seen this particular one on here before.
It would have to be lease payments, but is it monthly or is it quarterly?
Yeah, we've been paying lease payments, but I haven't seen this company on here before.
I'm trying to figure out,
Description.
that's $150,000 worth of equipment.
Right,
We
but,
buy.
but we have leases, but I
We
haven't.
do have some leases for some equipment.
Yeah.
We have leases with Cat Financial.
That's what I'm saying, but that's why he was questioning. We haven't done this before.
There's three of them. 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm. But it says general obligation bond refunded. But we didn't use
I
that
don't
bond.
understand
No,
how to be
no,
paid,
no,
that's what's
no.
confusing.
She have to tell, she's going to look.
She's
But
going to look at it.
but I know we didn't, on any of that equipment, we,
It's through Cat Financial.
I get right. That's right.
But Alderman West, why is it being paid out of general obligation?
Yeah, that's the question there. I don't, that's,
We never paid for equipment out of,
I don't know.
It's gonna be,
GOV.
No,
she's gonna get it, the
That I know
information.
of.
Unless we designated it, I don't have to see it.
yeah, I don't recall us doing that.
Paid for
Because
other things.
Mr. Gadd brought all the information for
It was
a lease,
purchased.
lease purchase.
Mhm.
So how old is this stuff now?
Not quite 2 years. is it?
Not quite 2 years.
Yeah, not quite 2 years old. But we should have gotten it somewhere around 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
I just need, somebody need to know the remaining indebtedness.
Right, that's right. Yeah, that's a little
How you
different.
doing, Mr. Gilkey?
All rise, everybody.
Speak in,
I was about to blame it on him.
Yeah, sound is along.
That's not your thing, that's general obligation.
Yeah.
Responding to bond series 2020 of the city of Canton, once a year.
We pay once a year.
And it's for what purpose now?
It's this, I wanted to refund him his $200. The actual account is paid once a year. It's the obligation for 2020 with urgent. One is 22,365.
Bond payments.
Get it to account.
It's
This is
not,
a
Is
budget.
it shouldn't be coming out of landfill.
No, yeah.
It's not coming out of landfill, it's coming out of sinking fund.
Oh, I thought you were
Thank you.
saying.
Yeah,
That was Argus. That's an Argus, not Argent. We have an Argus and we have an Argent.
Okay.
This is Argent.
The excavator and the steer.
No, that's
No,
not what
that-
this is.
That's a different one.
Somebody was mistaken when they said that was.
They say it was Argus. Argus is something different. This is Argent. It's two different ones, it sounds like.
The one that Alderman Taylor is talking about is Argent, right?
That's what's on the claim document.
Is that a general obligation bond?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on your list that he gave us. I can go.
So
Okay.
it should, I thought somebody said it was on the claim back to come out of public works budget.
No, I thought it was Argus.
It's
I thought somebody
RJ.
read the wrong
Argent.
number.
It just says bond series 2020, general obligation bond. Yeah.
Jackie, you want? Who else want?
Look. Look.
Those one of the things that's on your list of funds. The general obligation 2020 is on that list.
Yeah, it is. But I guess we got confused because it was like you said public works equipment, so everybody got.
Well, look.
Everything that.
Let's turn this over to, the financial committee, let them look at it.
Do we know the balance?
Yeah, so
Otherwise, we'll be here
I mean, it's a GO bar. It's a GO
Yeah.
bar refining payment. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
And
It was just stated wrong that it was public works.
Oh, it's a
Right.
GO bond, okay.
So it is it's a GO bond refining
That's one of
payment.
our GO bonds that
Yeah.
we refinance.
So what does that mean? We can,
It's due.
approve the, claim?
Yeah, it's due April 1st, 2022. She's doing it early, so that's what it is, the GO bond.
Okay.
Payment.
Alderman Taylor, where are you with your amendments?
The readiness is complete, but I would ask this of Clerk Brown and her staff, that as we go forward, and I know you did this once before, as far as the account numbers, I think you all are well versed on. I'm not. I don't know about the others.
No, we're not.
Yeah, and I think it would help us.
If you wanna,
But it-
we gave you a copy, I give you a copy every week, is what you.
Okay, well, that's fine. And, you know, especially with something that just came up with that P-Man Corporation.
And what is that now?
It is
Yes, ma'am.
it seems to be, it's a technology company, and the law enforcement, the police department uses it, for accreditation. It uploads all of their data, and it helps them, you know, you have to have certain pass. Initially, it went from $900 and some odd dollars down to $772, but I'm gonna get with Chief and look some more, look at their contracts and see
We
exactly
might need
what
to
I
have a
can tell.
claims docket meeting.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So even with that being said, the cheat sheet that I'm requesting, you say you'll do that on a weekly basis.
Yes.
And
Oh,
even in
yeah,
your,
on bi-weekly basis.
and even in your description on the claims docket, if we could get some type of hint as to what department it is, cause like this P-Man deal, we didn't know that it was, allocated to the police department. So if we get some type of hint, there won't be many questions asked. We'll already know how to state whatever question we may have and handle it from that particular, point.
Okay.
Thanks. I'm complete.
Thank you, sir.
All in favor?
Tim Taylor, aye.
Escrow.
Wells,
How many ayes?
Five.
No, motion carried. As it relates to the payroll docket, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Tim Taylor, aye.
Escrow, aye.
Wells,
Motion carried. Oh, motion carried. At this particular time, we have a presentation, by Ms. Aviana Murray. Ms. Aviana Murray has been in this community for quite some time. Her specialty is raising the awareness of young girls, causing them to realize the essence and the importance of creating pathways and a future for them, through training and through trade, through inspiration and spirituality. And she's gonna come and make a presentation to us today. Ma'am?
Okay, on the top of them packets I just gave y'all was basically just a little letter, proposal letter while I'm here today. In the back page would be an article, the news article, in the program, well, a success on what the program was on this past year. We need a building to be able to run this program, and what the program is a cosmetology program for young girls. And basically, I'll read this letter to you. It pretty much sums up everything. And so I'm writing this letter to submit a proposal on behalf of the Big Sister Community Summer Braiding Program. I, Aviana Murray, which is a resident of Canton, a native of Canton, 6-year licensed cosmetologist, 1-year salon owner, and the founder of the Big Sister Community, is asking for your support in providing the Big Sister Community with a location to make this program a success for the summer of 2022 and going forward. This program is beneficial to our youth, being that it not only teach school-age girl cosmetology skills, but it also helps in building character, responsibility, positivity, motivation, empowerment, and confidence. Our goal is to bridge the gap in our community to where we empower young women to be confident in who they are and raise awareness in successful entrepreneurship. This program also offers these young women the opportunity to become licensed braider at the completion of the course. It also received tons of support from the community in which they provided lunch and other learning tools to ensure that our first year was a success. I'm requesting assistance for 2 days a week, Wednesday and Saturday from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. from June 1st to July 20th. I'm looking forward to working with you all. So basically, this program, does a lot of things for the city as far as pulling the community together versus instead of us tearing each other apart. It brought a whole lot of people together. We had a lot of support. And not only is it a positive light on the city of Canton, it made the news twice actually, and it don't just benefit Canton. We actually had people come from Edwards, Mississippi, Brookhaven, and also Columbus, Mississippi, and participating. So basically, we just need a building to be able to run this program again. And I brought this license, and I brought my one of braid license. 16 of the girls are actually licensed through the program, but they're able to work doing something they love to do versus something they're forced to be doing. This here is an example of the packets and stuff with the lunch and the hours and days and times. This is a list of the amount of girls we had last year. This is a list of 43, but we had a total of 53 kids that we reached this year. Last year. So, that's about it. Pretty much wraps it up.
So once they complete this program, they can apply for a licensure?
Yeah, a lot of the girls.
Certified in-
Yes, in braiding. And that opens the door for them not only to just be workers, they actually can open their own business with it as well by them being licensed.
Of the 53 total you had last year, how many were licensed?
Well, it's a total of 16, due to the fact all of them didn't have the right amount of stuff that they needed to be licensed. Basically, they didn't have a lot of them needed help with getting their identification cards, which we actually helped them with that too. So there's a lot of stuff that they were short on.
Okay.
So we're basically just advocating for them on that note.
So are you saying, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So are you saying the only reason the other participants?
They were shy of, they didn't, a lot of them come from backgrounds where they don't have much. So we had to step in for them, like get them.
So you need help raising funds to help them continue, it's like continuing education. for
Pretty
example.
much.
Did you reach out to anyone?
Yeah.
You did?
I came here before. So yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and space, what space? What's
Well,
the
we
size?
actually got to use the community center first last year, and then you all gave us the multi-purpose building on Wednesdays.
And I'm guessing that Saturdays didn't work for the multipurpose center?
Well, Saturday we didn't. I just included Saturday because we didn't get a chance to complete. A lot of them couldn't really come on just that one day. They needed more time. So we just offered that Saturday now as an option.
Have the dates been clear with Mr. Davis for the family?
Have you
Well,
met?
it'll be more, on Saturday, it'll be definitely a conflict, because that's when you have your rental and activities going on then. Through the week, only thing, basically like right now, we have the Madison County Court Service using the facility through the week now. Maybe B&B Electrical may use it for a meter, things of that nature through the week. Other than that though, but I think the time
But
frame.
you're okay with the community center, right? Are you okay with the community
Yeah,
center?
yes, because that was Board of Girls
Her dates?
house there, but, ma'am,
What
Her
are the
dates?
dates?
I'm sorry.
Are you okay with the community center with her dates?
Yes, yes, right.
June 1st to
The
July
last two.
20th.
Excuse me?
She
Mr.
said-
Davis, will you come,
Yeah,
Mr. Davis, will
yeah.
you come to the?
Podium, yeah. Who's requested that?
On a short notice now, just let me look at the book and see what we have to give our answer to, for the community center and everything, which facilities could be available.
Okay, we can add that to our discussion. to
Yes,
our
ma'am.
meeting On Tuesday, and then we can call her from there.
Right,
Will that work?
yes, ma'am.
June 1st to July 20th.
She wants to pass this around so we can just view.
That's the,
So, June, all right, I'll write it down.
yeah, that's what she's
Get that up.
requesting.
What's the name of your organization again?
Big Sister
Big
Community.
sister.
Yeah,
Is this a profit or a non-profit?
non-profit.
No, okay.
You have all your papers with the Secretary of State online.
Not up here, I don't.
I mean, but
I
you
can
do
get
have.
back with, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Do we have time to get back with you the next week?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I just wanted to go ahead, it's the summer, but I want to go ahead and get up in there.
All right,
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Moore.
I'm sorry. Okay, we would like to bring before us Attorney Mike Ashley, for the purpose of making a presentation as it relates, to the mega site. Attorney Ashley.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, to the lawyer, to your new Chief Administrative Officer, and to all members of the Board of Aldermen. Thank you for hearing me, and thank you for taking me out of order. I won't be long. I've discussed a bit of this already with the mayor. I talked very quickly today with Kim, and now before you. I'm here in two capacities. First is as lawyer for the Madison County Board of Supervisors, and as lawyer for the entity they created to provide fire service protection at the mega site, and that in March 2022. They had delays because of service disruptions in assembling conveyor belt, but now they're ready to begin opening in March. So now it's time to put pen to paper to contract for fire protection services for the mega site. And so this morning, the Mega Site Alliance Fire District approved a contract that I'm going to present to you. It does not take a vote today. Don't expect a vote today. But I'm going to simply, I've already given this contract to Kim, your lawyer. And so I'll need you, if you would just read it, consider it, and take it under advisement. I would say to you, don't take too long, because they start opening in March. And we need to know who's going to provide fire protection services there. The contract is in three parts. One is the contract with the Canton Fire Department, which is really, they can't contract without you, of course. So it's a contract with the City of Canton for services of the Canton Fire Department. Section Exhibit A to the contract is the meets and bounds description of the mega site. So everybody knows that Madison County bought all the land at the mega site for $11 million bond. And so the Exhibit A is the meets and bounds description of the mega site, which is the only area we're talking about today. And then Exhibit B would be, if you accept this contract, the standard operating procedures that you would agree to operate under for providing fire services to the mega sites. All of it's written out. And you'll be agreeing to all of this if you do it. All right, here are the high points. The Board of Supervisors and the Mega Site Alliance decided to take a balanced approach to fire protection. So this contract, as you read it, the terms will be for you to be a cooperative fire service provider, which means that you will not be exclusive and you won't be primary. The other cooperating entity would be South Madison Fire District, otherwise known as Gluckstadt. So this contract, I promise you, is word for word the same. There's no differences in the contracts except the fire department of Canton is under the municipality of Canton. And even though it's called Gluckstadt, it's really not a municipal fire department. It's a independent fire department of Madison County. South Madison Fire District. They say it's Gluckstadt, but it's not.
So they have the same proposed agreement we did?
Same one. And I'll give it to you. It's all the terms are the same, all the words the same, and they'll be the next that I will approach to present it to. All right, so first of all, you have to know, and I know this is a sore spot, maybe, that You'll be a cooperating fire provider along with South Madison Fire District. All right. The term of the contract, it ends December 31st, 2023. Why is that? Because as Kim knows, no contract can exceed the term of the Board of Supervisors. So election is next year. But the contract can certainly be renewed by a new Board of Directors, by Board of Supervisors. After December 31st, 2023, there'll be a new board, and they could certainly renew this if they choose to do it. Every member of the Board of Supervisors appointed their own person on the Megasite Fire District. So there's 5 members of the Megasite Fire District Board of Commissioners, and they all voted this morning for this contract. All right. It says it can be terminated after 30 days. The service area is the Megasite service area. And Kim, I'm going this really fast. So I'm not,
Okay.
if you have any questions, I'll take them.
I'm happy
But-
to read it first.
Huh?
I'm gonna read it.
Read it. I'm just giving you the highlights, Mayor. Financial support, $10,000 for each service provider. Canton Fire Department and South Madison Fire District, $10,000. Why is that amount? That amount is the standard that Madison County pays to augment to provide fire service and to augment services for all of the independent fire districts in Madison County. If it's Farmer Haven or if it's Water Valley, if it's whatever, they usually get $10,000 a year. That's annually.
So that's a year, 10,000 a year.
$10,000 a year up front to provide fire service protection per year. Now, this one is a little different in that above the $10,000 per year, there's a per incident call. So every time Canton Fire Department has to crank up a truck and go to the mega site for a fire event or an emergency event, it's $250. Why do we do this? Because we've had meetings with some at Canton Fire Department. They wanted to be primary. We want to be primary. We want to be exclusive. Well, that's probably not going to happen. But I would just tell you, this item was put in there because, to me, primary is who gets there first. Primary is who puts out the fire. Primary is who responds first. So if they crank up the truck and come out to the mega site and put out a fire in a fire event, because it's all done through radios. Your fire district is very close to the mega site. There'll be $250 for each fire event. Now that's not for training or all of that. This is for medical events at the mega site and fire events at the mega site. Knock on wood, we really hope you got a $400 million building out there with its own fire suppression systems. We are hopeful that there won't be that many fire events at Amazon, but we have to.
Can I ask you a question? And
Yes.
this might be something we need to talk about offline, but what if neither one of them respond? Is there a penalty?
If neither, there is no penalty. There is no penalty here.
Okay. So
I would think it
that
would
may
be,
something we need to talk about.
penalty might be termination. If you have a contractor respond, nobody responds, then they have a decision to make. But,
Can I ask a question?
yes, sir.
I know you're not trying to take them on, but I see a call coming in, and I see 2 fire districts headed in the same direction.
That's gonna be the confusing part that we need to
At
talk
the-
about.
Excellent question. I would tell you this.
Fine.
This is open session, so
Right. So,
I
yeah.
have to be
That's why
careful.
I say we need to talk about that later.
All right.
We can discuss
All I
that
can
later.
tell you is that Exhibit B involves standard operating procedures. And it's in there. To answer your questions in there, it's called Unified Command and Incident Command. It's based on who gets there first, who can give the orders. And then if another one comes, then it becomes Unified Command. And all of that is spelled out in explicit detail under the standard operating procedures, which would be Exhibit B, okay?
Let me ask you a question then. So what's not in the contract that might be workable is an alternating procedure. Canton responds, then Blustead responds to the next fire.
We're gonna talk about it.
That would be tough. That would be tough to manage.
All right.
I will tell you that. But look, any suggestion you have is fine. But that'd be tough to manage. Well, who would manage that? All right. So this is the contract. It's the same one that will be given to South Madison Fire District. So for the same term, for the same compensation, for the same incident, per incident, $250. It's the same standard operating procedures and the same use of the fire truck. Now let's talk about the fire truck. There's a fire truck. It's a nice one. Right now it is parked under control of Madison County Board of Supervisors at the County Emergency Operations Facility. City of Canton Fire Department would have ready access to that fire truck for all events at the mega site and events not at the mega site. So if there's a fire call that comes out for a call in Canton, fire truck is available for you to come and get it under the standard operating procedures, under the paragraph that calls for responding to events outside of the mega site. So we have a county fire coordinator, so he would be over the use of that fire truck. He'd be involved in all the calls. And so if there's a need for that big truck with that 4-story ladder somewhere, anywhere in Madison County that you're called upon, then that truck is available for you at no expense, of course. All the maintenance costs would be coming from the county or the AFD. All the training costs, all of that is under the contract. So you can use it. Now, and the Board of Trustees really won't be involved in it unless it's needing the truck for a parade or something. That's different. That'll be, you probably have to get a request before the Board of Commissioners. Use it for a parade or whatever. But if it's for a fire event, to be efficient and not waste time in a dangerous situation or exigent circumstances, the situation is outlined in the standard operating procedures, the same as will be given to South Madison. I will say this, when you're thinking about doing this or not doing it, it is very likely that there will be a fire station built at the mega site, very likely. Maybe sooner rather than later, because they need somewhere to house the truck. They need certainty of protection, and it's very likely there'll be something there, depending on what the legislature will do this session or next session. So this is it. $10,000 a year plus $250 per incident. Whoever gets there first is per call. $250. They'll be paid monthly, based on the amount of calls monthly. Medical event, fire event. Standard operating procedures prevail, and that was written by a fire professional, not me, about what it takes to put out these fires with that big truck. Truck can be used for anything in Canton. Any necessary fire event can be used. It's out there, available for you and for South Madison. But right now, you're a cooperating fire provider, along with South Madison, both equal. But who's ever first is first, all right? So this is it, and when I say don't take too long, I only mean to say that if you read the standard operating procedures, they have a training regimen, because you can't crank the truck up unless you've been trained, and the training starts in March. Training starts in March. So, so we have to have something soon. Yes, sir.
Okay, if I may, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to, Attorney Banks did ask the question, what if they both get there at the same time? So what if they don't show up? So my question is, what if they get there, they both get there at the same time? Then how does the subject matter exclusiveness
you both get
and primary
250.
work? I'm sorry?
Yeah, just like when they crank up the truck to come, they get 250. When you crank up the truck, you get 250. So maybe $500 the county's paying for both of y'all.
Okay, okay.
So we don't want to prejudice any one of y'all.
Okay,
So nobody gets any more than the other one. If you come and they don't come at all, it's all yours.
right,
If they come, you don't come at all, it's all theirs. And if you both come, it's the same amount.
gotcha. And you put specific, emphasis on, fires. Who puts the fire out? And does the same emphasis apply to a medical emergency?
There probably will be more medical emergencies than there will be fire emergencies.
Okay,
So, if I'm wrong, correct me, but I believe that Canton Fire Department has more capacity to handle medical emergencies than South Madison.
okay.
That's my understanding. And so, whatever it is, but in the standard operating procedures, there's a detailed mechanism for unified command, if you both get there, same time, or incident command based on who gets there first.
Okay,
And if they come next, and if it's bigger, maybe it's a small fire, you've already put it out, so they'll go home.
okay,
But if it's something large, then you might need Richland or Madison or Flora. If there's something large at a $400 million building, we're gonna need everybody.
okay.
So that's why they have plans to build a mega site worthy fire station there, hiring staff, sometime in the near future. And that's what that truck will be. But right now, Amazon starts in March. We have to have something now
Okay,
to give them a comfort. I mean, they're here because we brought them here. We promised them fire service in their transition contract. So
okay.
they needed a truck that is tall enough to put out a fire in a 4-story building. So we got one. All right. So any other questions?
I have one. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Attorney Espy, at this late date, is there any room for negotiation on them?
Always can be negotiated, but we've been through this whole scenario. You realize that we met with the Canton Fire Department more than once.
But I was never there.
Gotcha.
I wish I would have been. I've been saying that for a long time.
Okay.
You know?
So like I said, there's always room for negotiation. You don't have to sign this. If they sign it and you don't, that's a problem. But, and we've been over this in the Board of Supervisors, so everybody understands. I understand what you're saying, because we put together the RETA agreement that called for such a fire district. I'm very familiar with it. And it was done a certain way, and then it got changed. I understand that. So I'm not here arguing about why it got changed. I'm here to tell you what this is. Lastly, this is different than the other contract, which I believe you have signed recently, with the Central Madison County Fire Protection District. That's different.
Yeah,
That's 8 meals being charged to residents that live 5 miles outside of Canton. They've agreed to pay 8 meals taxes for fire protection, and you're the provider exclusively. And I believe that contract is for a fee that Kim knows about. So that's different from this. Has nothing to do with this. So this is another bit of compensation.
Just a moment, Alderman Guilty, the other guilty.
Oh, this,
You had your hand up.
Oh, I think I have a question though. Amazon. I know Amazon is mainly concerned about fire protection for their plant.
yes.
Are they aware of pretty much all the inner work that's going on how to get that actually done? Do they know that there's 2 contracts? Do they know all this confusion is going on as relates to the contract?
They don't, I doubt it. And I hope they don't learn it, because it's been rough.
Well, yeah, I know you hope that they don't know, but it seems as if Ken is getting shafted in this whole process. So even though the county may not want them to know, but it's something that people should know for the sake of transparency, because we're having these problems with the city, with Madison as it relates to Canton's fire department. I mean, I understand where you're going with it, though, but nevertheless, it's just too much confusion going on.
We're in open session, so I'll go and say that
Right, we can't
I'm not
say
aware that
all
they know
the
it.
about we gonna have to put that out there.
Yeah, this is an open session, so.
Yeah.
Invite me back.
Yeah, let me, I will, but I want to ask a question. After 2023, does anyone envision in that alliance fire district admitted system for reimbursement?
What is that, Mayor?
Does anyone envision being reimbursed through a millage system as opposed through?
That depends on the board of supervisors. They're gonna election in 2023, so, I mean, we're gonna have a whole, you might have different people there.
I mean, I believe that Amazon, you may not call it millage, you may call it fire protection fee. I believe they would likely do that. In fact, they've said they would do that. But right now, all of this money comes from the Board of Supervisors, Madison County, right now.
Okay. Are there any other questions of Attorney Espy? We certainly appreciate the information.
Appreciate you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
At this particular time, there's a presentation, Chief Oprah Brown, and, yes, the mayor said.
The mayor of the city. Chief Brown, the mayor of the city.
I said,
No, sir.
and the mayor of the city.
Oh, okay, but I was about to say, if he's the mayor, we need to nominate him now.
No, sir. Good evening, board. We have a presentation for Sergeant Lincoln Powell, who's in the Canton Police Department. You know, with all we had going on last year, on into this year, come on up, Lincoln. Lincoln Powell has been working his heart out. He's been out around the clock, and we just want to show some appreciation, that we appreciate what he does, and also for him taking the oath to being a police officer, and now as a sergeant of the Canton Police Department. Mr. Powell has over 30, oh, he won't be said 30, 29 years of service, and he does such tremendous jobs for us, and so we have a plaque here we'd like to dedicate to him. Go ahead, man.
This is on behalf of the mayor and Board of Aldermen and our police department. With our greatest appreciation, we are proud to honor Lincoln Powell for your unwavering support and unrelenting guidance that helped in leading our path to success. You are being honored with much appreciation and much gratitude. The contributions you have made to order have significantly improved the lives and protect our community. Thank you for your outstanding performance and dedication. City of Canton, protect and serve. And may God bless you.
Congratulations.
Turn around and take a picture. Okay. No one has a picture. All right. There's no camera. There you go.
Thank you.
What happened to four? Item 7, authorize and approve usage agreement with City of Canton and Dead Menace LLC. See attached, do we have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Wills,
Oh, yeah, the film.
Yeah.
Film Taylor. That's the film.
Let's go out.
Motion carried. Authorize and approve the date of the Juneteenth celebration for June 18th, 2022, subject to the ratification of a usage agreement for Juneteenth Day. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Guilty eye.
Tim Taylor, aye.
Esco, aye.
Ken,
Wells, aye.
Motion carried. Consideration of approval for consideration of approval for amended fire protection service for Central Fire Company Fire Protection District for the City of Canton, Mississippi, see attached. Do we have a motion? This was on the agenda yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes.
Do we have a motion?
Is that all good to go, Ms. Banks, Chief?
The highlighted terms really are just, to me,
Motion.
legal caveats that they wanted to add in there about the fire department should only allow licensed and trained personnel to operate the district-owned or assigned equipment. Fire department shall not allow possession of use of alcoholic beverages or illicit drugs or providing services under this agreement. For repair, damage to the district-owned or assigned vehicles, property, or equipment under the care of the fire department. The fire department is responsible for any insurance deductible. That's the main one that I thought was not probably a deviation of some standard rule. We shall handle receipts and expenditures in compliance with state law. I mean, that's standard. The other one was subject to payment on any prorated portion due for uncompensated services fulfilled prior to termination of prorated reimbursement. That's kind of standard.
Okay.
There basically is just some legal caveats. Any district owner assigned fire truck shall be housed indoors by the fire department. The district would not be responsible for any maintenance of city property. The fire department shall be responsible for the fueling, regular maintenance, oil change, and safety of all equipment that may be provided to it by the district. That's an important one. The fire department may use a district-owned or assigned vehicle to respond to calls in its service area when the vehicle is not engaged in service in the district. That was the one that allows us use of it when the vehicle is not engaged in service in the district. All district-owned or assigned vehicles will serve as the primary vehicles employed in response to service calls to the district. The fire department shall also send the available vehicles in its fleet with the quickest response time. That kind of goes to what Attorney Espy was saying in his presentation about the mega site contract. So it's kind of just tightening up some basically standard things and allowing a couple of other things. And Chief Pierce can weigh in too on how he feels about it, because I copied him on this agreement yesterday as well.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening, Chief.
The new contract is pretty much entail each one of the old contracts that they sent to it. It didn't have anything about a vehicle, maintenance, equipment, and all that. So why all that came about was because the county will be buying they probably buy a fire truck for that district, and then they might buy different equipment if we request different equipment. And we would be responsible for just the upkeep, just like it's all, it'll be all equipment, but it'll be entail inventory, on a inventory list. I mean, we have done this before, where they buy equipment.
For the fueling and all that other stuff.
Right.
So are you okay with this? Are you okay with those provisions like that?
Right, because.
Are you okay with
Yeah, I'm fine with them, because like I say, because we'll be utilizing it. It'll just be like we're using our truck, we'll be using that truck. So
We have a motion.
Motion.
So that's why it came about.
All in favor?
I have none ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sutherland, readiness for Alderman Taylor.
Now,
What is your
this may not be the venue for this particular question, but based on what Attorney Banks just said, when Attorney Espy was up, that she was not invited to the meetings, were you?
Oh, we went to meetings, yeah, offline meetings.
I'm asking, were you invited?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, offline meeting, it's just meeting. But my meeting went in stone because I always had to come before the board before anything was accepted. So it was just talk, offline talk, but at the end of the day.
I always want to be included.
Right.
And I express that because when we're negotiating a contract and they're going to bring it before us,
Yeah.
and force it down our throats to sign it by March,
Yeah.
I'd rather be involved in on the front end than trying to clean up something and negotiate on the back end.
They never,
It's tough.
we never did discuss a contract.
I know, but I'm
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
Discussions.
Yeah.
those discussions lead to the contract.
Yeah.
Right, most time it was that, like I say, the mayor or one of us, yeah, but like I say, we make sure of that, yes.
Chief Pierce,
I mean,
from this point forward, anytime you are meeting, it doesn't matter whether you think that it is, it's just, you guys are just gonna, shoot the breeze and just kind of throw things around. If Attorney Banks is not on site, I am.
Yeah.
And so, what happens is, and I'll be very brief, what happens is conversations are had, and there's language, that in verbiage that's put out there, that maybe you may not catch, but one of us will, so that, on the back end, we're not listening to, what took place in a meeting, and well, this is what we discussed, and so that's why it's in here. One of us needs to be able to, and I would be able to like relay that to her before any of these contracts or proposals are even put to us, and it really truly would cut down on a lot of, we could move a lot faster, and then we would have the opportunity to put our language in there, because it's a matter of negotiation.
but like I first stated, I had no discussion about a contract with
I'm
neither
not,
one of
sir,
them.
Yeah, we know
Sir,
you did.
It's not about the
sir, it's not
contract.
about the
It's not
contract.
Okay.
about the contract. It's
Okay,
not about
I'm just making sure of that right there.
It's just about the language.
I'm just covering my bases.
Chief Pierce?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's how
I'm covering my bases.
Yeah, it's just about the language that's leading up to the contract. And then once it gets to the point where, okay, y'all have had discussions, and then some of the discussions end up in the contract. I don't hear about it to the end, and it's hard for me to weigh in on the back end, and now they want us to approve it by March. And so I don't have much negotiation room when I could have been negotiating the whole time. Cause I'm sure some
You
of the
understand?
talks were about what was going to be.
No, I'm not understanding.
Okay, so.
But we'll
I'll do
talk
it, Chief
later.
Banks. No, sir, we
Yeah.
can talk offline.
Yeah, we have to talk
I know,
offline, yeah.
I would like to.
We have to
finish
talk
this.
offline.
I would like to get this out so that you, first I want you to calm down, okay? It's okay. What I'm saying is, I'm not talking about contracts. You weren't discussing contracts. There are conversations, during your conversations, different things are thrown around and thrown out there, and maybe we can do this and possibilities for that. And so it helps for her to know what to be in on them, so that she can formalize in her capacity, and she can come up with the best language and the best proposals and contract for you, is what she said, is what we're saying. It's to benefit you, it's not, right, it's for the best for you, for the fire department and the city. So the more information that she has, it helps her at this point. She would have been, ahead. Right now, she's behind the 8 ball. There's not so much that we can't really negotiate right now. We can either sign it or not sign it. So she's just, what I'm saying is, from this point, anytime you are, you're having those kind of conversations, communicate with one of us, okay? That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you. Also satisfied, Alderman Taylor?
Also satisfied.
All in favor?
Ken,
Tim Taylor, aye.
Well,
Yeah,
You okay?
I meant to find it.
Esco,
Motion carried.
We got one day? We got one day?
who was that?
Nobody said that.
let's go. You said,
I said aye.
okay.
Yeah, I think Alderman Blunt said aye twice.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Consideration of speed strips
Strips
Bump.
and bumps.
on West Otto Street between Walnut Street and Cornell Street for the necessary good and the preservation of the citizens of the city.
So moved.
Second, I'll second.
All in favor?
Unreadiness is it strips or is it bumps?
Which
There's a
either one,
difference.
Which one do you want?
whichever one the, public
I know
works,
neither one of our chiefs want bumps.
well, whatever public work, where's Mr. Copeland?
Strips might be
Whatever
better.
Mr. Copeland them say, is sufficient in that area.
Ms. Copeland here.
Mr. Copeland? Mr. Copeland?
Speed bump? Oh, that's-
Okay, yeah.
It's like a what?
A strip,
Yeah, there's new police cars, new fire trucks.
strip
Approach the podium, approach the podium if you're talking.
Mr. Goff, will you please?
You got it. Ms. Cole, what you got it.
Good evening, good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Y'all see it on,
West South.
West
I'll
October.
talk.
They're really, that street up there too small for a speed bump. It's
Is
never
that the
too,
one that comes off Cameron?
it's
Yeah.
coming off Cameron Street.
Cameron Street. I went over there and looked yesterday. If we put one down, it'd be kind of halfway the street. You know, let's say it's 100 feet, we just put it 50 feet down the street. If we absolutely have to put it down there. But I really didn't see no use for one either. But if that's what you guys want, that's what
With a
we'll do.
speed strip, yeah, I mean, cause they request and, if you think neither one of them will work, we'll go back and fill constituents. We just have to, make sure we have a police presence or something there, cause, they complain and heavily,
We will put a speed bump down there. You know, we will put one down there.
What
but-
about the strip?
yeah, that's why I said either or
Which-
yesterday.
Which October y'all talking about?
Over by, Walnut,
Walnut, going
Walnut.
back west.
right,
Okay, you got
Coming east.
Walnut, let's y'all coming out
Uh-huh.
Walnut, coming to South Connecticut.
right, that's right.
Okay, so you can put just one over there.
Right.
Okay, well,
That's what I
you all
thought.
know, so, okay.
Yeah, just one bump.
That's what I'm saying. We just put one kind of halfway.
It
That's
don't,
for the
it
street.
don't really don't need now, cause you ain't got no two houses over there.
Yeah, I know,
Well,
but,
if we're saying we really don't need one, and we know the opinion of both our fire chief and our police chief,
Right,
then let's not do one.
right, so we don't need to do it.
well, I mean,
'Cause it-
will even the strip do anything to,
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
Well, let's-
Just slow them down.
Well,
If
let's
you
do
did
that.
the strips, if you did the strips, you do like, you know, what is it, 4 or 5 of them at one time?
Yeah.
the script
would be more
Strip would be more better than.
Yeah.
But it still won't slow them down though.
the strip won't?
No. Once they get used to them, they're gonna fly right through them, just like they've been on the next street all the time.
Just
So,
like we put down speed bump, they go around the speed bump.
right.
So, don't need we putting them down, cause they go around them anyway, just like we did on.
Yeah, well,
But if I gonna do it, I'd rather do the speed bump
I
if
would
I
like-
gonna put them down there.
I would say let's try to bump and move on from that.
Yes, sir.
Withdraw to the previous motion.
All in favor?
I think,
I'm ready.
Oh.
Why don't
Then
we
ready,
take
Mr.
into
Alderman.
consideration the fire chief and the police chief both are saying something about that? Now, if we don't wanna, I know we're trying to curtail the speeding, but we don't wanna come back and they have to come back before us and say, y'all got to fix this truck because of a bump and us trying to slow somebody down. So
We-
me myself would not say bumps, I would say, let's try to strip.
Well, we have them all through the city. I mean, we got speed bumps.
And we
And
need to
they
get
stop
rid of them.
and
We need to get, right,
Yeah.
and that's why I asked them about the strips.
Yeah, so, can,
Right.
And I concur with, Alderwoman Gilkey. Let's try the strips first, you
Yeah.
know, and let's see how that fares. If it works well, then we stay with that. And if we have
Okay.
to make some other decision, then we can always do that.
And we need to
At least
take,
we-
we need to take some of these other ones up throughout the city too, cause, I
Amend
mean,
motion.
all right, we'll go with the strips.
We have to withdraw.
All in favor?
It was already motion and second.
We gotta,
Oh,
We said
Strips.
and door, so we're gonna go.
They said
with
they'll go with the strips.
okay.
okay, so who's gonna restate the
Have
motion?
y'all voted?
I'll make the motion.
It's already motion. and
Yeah,
second.
it's already motion and,
Okay, which-
Second.
instead of words,
He said
bumps,
strips, didn't he,
strip,
too?
okay.
yeah, that's why I said either, so we're gonna do strips.
yeah,
Pen, there you go.
Where's our,
Tim Taylor.
That's right.
Having an aye, how many ayes?
Here we are.
Motion carried. As relates to authorize and approve task order from Wagner Engineering.
man, we didn't get all, you didn't count all the votes, did you?
It was a majority
Okay.
vote.
There you go.
How many do we get?
Okay, everybody.
All right.
Authorize and approve task orders from Wagner Engineers for streets and congressional package, see attached.
So move, Mayor.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Tim Taylor, aye.
Pen,
Where's our?
Esco, aye.
one nay.
One nay. I would like to announce to the governing authorities that Alderman Esco and Alderman Taylor and I did meet today as it relates to the congressional package, and we are working on the congressional package that we will present to the entire board. We decided that we would meet with Wagner again. Was that Thursday?
Yes, we said.
Thursday. To finalize the package. As we speak right now, I think we have, help me here, Alderman Esco, was it about 5 different packages?
Yes.
Somewhere in that area.
And
Okay.
The first one was related, well, we said we can present it later, so I'm not going to go into detail.
Item 12, authorize and approve opening and consideration of appropriate action for knuckle boom and street sweeper financing bids. See attached bid notification and bids attached here too.
We only received one bid,
One bid.
one bid,
but that's it,
Trustmark.
bid.
And Trustmark came in today at about 2:28.
What time was it supposed to come in?
4 o'clock, and meet the deadline.
What's the interest on the bid?
Dear Deborah Brown, thank you for the opportunity to provide this promissory note. Interest rate 2.33, financing up to $476,917.
Up to how much?
$476,917.
That's financing up to.
Up to 476, say it again?
476,917.
917?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Do
you.
we have a motion?
So moved.
So y'all are moving to accept Trustmark as the
Yes.
bid for financing?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
I'll
Do we have a
second.
second?
You
You
got
did a second for it?
I second.
All in favor?
Tim Taylor, aye.
Wells, aye.
Yeah, yeah.
Esco, aye.
Motion carries. Consideration of approval of the municipal compliance questionnaire. See attached. Do we have a motion?
Go back to 13, Doc.
The audit.
13? Oh, yeah.
Article-
Consideration of
Clerk Brown,
authority.
aisle 12.
Consideration of authority to accept and publish the 2018 audit. See attached.
Second.
All in favor?
Brown.
I second, Mayor.
All in favor?
Gilby, aye.
Tim Taylor, aye.
Penn,
Wells, aye.
Esco, aye.
Motion carried.
Okay.
Consideration of approval for the municipal compliance questionnaire. Do we have a motion? Do we have a motion?
motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it with an unreadiness.
There's a second with an unreadiness. For what reason do you have an unreadiness?
I wanted to ask the question regarding the questionnaire. Is this something we do on a yearly basis?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to October 1st.
On the audit as well. Yes, we have to do it.
Attorney Banks, what you said about October the
We have
first?
to do it October 1st. We're behind, so we're getting it done, to put on the minutes. So this year, we won't have an audit finding saying that we didn't approve the municipal compliance questionnaire.
Okay.
Who prepared,
You good? I'm good.
Alderman Esco?
who prepares the questionnaire? Who gets the questionnaire ready and
The
set up?
clerk does, and she let me review it, and we actually had some input from court services as well, because they have 2 items that have questions on there as well. And in the future, it would be great if we use the municipal compliance questionnaire as a checklist of how we're complying with all state statutes. Because if you look at it and you go down it, it's just like a checkoff list
Right.
of what you comply with all state statutes. So you could just go down there and tick it off. Okay, we published our audit, we approved our audit, and we published our audit. you know, it's just, it's a good tick item, and we're supposed to do it every year, October 1st. We're behind on that, but we don't wanna be deemed any further, so at least we approved it.
Okay.
And spread across our minutes. And so we did make some revisions and changes. I got with the clerk, and some of the answers on there were yes, and we changed them to no, just to comply with, because we didn't want the board approving anything that wasn't accurate.
That's.
Yeah. Some of the things we changed on there from yes to no, because we didn't want anything approved that wasn't accurate.
Question number 7,
Which one are you looking at?
under the general part.
What page? Look at the one that says 2021.
Okay,
She put a new one in the pack today
Oh.
after our meeting. Let's see, hold on.
It's in this,
Just right next to the minutes.
Where's the error? Next
Okay,
to the
content.
minutes.
I don't,
It says
Oh.
municipal
Oh.
compliance.
the minutes. Okay.
Okay, I see it. Okay.
I thought that was one I just pulled.
So is there a reason why we're behind on such a questionnaire?
Okay.
Okay,
So follow up on, since,
Yeah, number 7, we changed to no.
okay.
I'm gonna just follow up on, Alderman Taylor's question. Who's the first
This is my, this is.
point of
the one-
contact that it comes to? Who,
No, you go online and pull it, that's one of the
Clerk.
things that
or the,
me and the attorney got together.
It comes to the clerk, but I put it every year, I put it on my calendar for October that we need to approve the municipal compliance questionnaire.
okay.
And I know y'all think I send my calendar out just for fun, but it's not for fun. It's got all our statutory guidelines in it that we have to do that month. And so in October, it does have approved the municipal compliance questionnaire, so if we could just like be mindful that there are statutory duties on there every month, and we need to like do them. Even if we don't do them the first or even second, we need to do them at some time during that month.
I think number 8 needs to be no too. On
That was supposed to be no.
Huh?
I changed that one to no. I changed that one to no.
Well, I got,
Number 8
On
is
my
page
draft,
three.
yeah, I changed that one to no on my draft.
what,
On page 3?
on page 3.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it
changed that one
says
to
yes
no.
on here.
It says yes on here.
I know, but the one I gave her, I changed that one to no too.
Page.
8,
Number 8 should be no.
all right.
Going back to restate my original question, is there a reason why we're late with such a questionnaire?
Actually, attorney sent it in her October calendar, but, and I got the discrepancies from the audit. That was one of the findings. I was doing a checklist from the findings of the audit, and we got together and got this done.
Okay.
Is there any other, did you make sure
And
you
if-
got all of
I'll make
it?
sure.
Let's make sure, cause
I don't care.
15 was supposed to, 12 was supposed to be no.
I got 12 now.
Okay, 15 was no.
Okay, say which page
Which page?
you're on because
On page
we have
4,
some-
page 4.
Okay, on page 4.
Page 4.
It's yes.
That was actually, 12 was actually on page.
You got some on each page, that's why I want them to be specific.
Yeah.
Page 12 was no.
It's yes on here.
You looking on the one from today? You looking at the one all the way to the back, the one, not the one that's stable. Go back to,
Right here.
that's the wrong one.
Banks, you have 12 is no, and that's like page 3 of the.
On mine it says 4. You
Maybe I got
have
the
a
wrong
12
sheet.
on.
Maybe I'm looking at the
No,
old one.
she has a 12 on 3.
3
on-
and
a
a
12
12 on
on
4.
4.
Read the question.
Yeah, number 12, yeah.
There's a
12
12
on 4, that's.
Yeah, it's a, right.
On both of them.
Yeah, she got, that's correct, she got that 15 is supposed to be no, that's correct.
You said,
On
you
page
said.
four.
I see it now, I had the wrong one.
Yeah, 17 is no,
It's the one that's not stable.
right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh,
On page 5,
uh-huh.
alright. I'm looking for the one about the restrictions applying to those instruments authorized by law. That one's supposed to be no.
That has to be no.
That's no too?
It's supposed to be no.
Is it showing up?
What, no,
under number 215, under part 215. Okay, that's correct.
I have no.
Yeah, you got it, that's correct. Seventeen, yeah, no, that's correct.
I think that's it.
That's it, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, sure.
But no, the one about the fire department, we made sure that was changed.
I need to have
Number
a
eight.
special call meeting.
Is that number 8?
Number 8, part 5, that was no?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, that's good then.
I think that's it.
Yeah, so it's 14 and 15 on page 7.
Okay.
No and no?
Okay.
No?
That's it?
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Got it.
So the only one needs to be changed is number 8.
Yep.
So your motion.
Okay.
Number 8 on
Ma'am.
page
Your
3.
motion just include the changes, what
Yeah.
corrections or whatever.
So moved.
Hold on a second. Wait a minute now.
You should have to make a
No.
motion. so
She,
No,
she,
no.
she knows which one she has to change. She has to change number 8, our minutes of the board signed by the mayor or majority board within 30 days of the meeting. She's gonna change that one to no.
Okay.
You said we don't need a motion.
You need to approve it with that change.
You need to amend the
Yeah.
motion to approve
Come
the
here,
change.
motion, Fred,
I would
with
withdraw
the
my motion.
changes.
But he withdraws his motion, so.
You give me a motion to pass it with the changes as recommended by the board.
Okay, so move, Mayor, that we, pass this item,
Compliance questionnaire.
compliance questionnaire with the change that's been so forth mentioned.
Recommended by the attorney.
Yeah, number 14.
Second.
All in favor?
Gilby, aye.
And,
Tim Taylor, aye.
That's correct.
Wells, aye.
Motion carried. Authorize and approve the COVID-19 policy, see attached. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Gilby, aye.
Tim Taylor, aye.
Wells, aye.
That's correct.
and,
Motion carried. There's a question.
Yes. May I ask Ms. Banks a question really quick before it slips my mind? If we go back to that municipal complaint, are there penalties if we don't, if minutes aren't signed within 30 days?
No. The statute requires us to do it, but there are no penalties. That's the thing about some of those statutory things, they require us to do it, but there's no penalties. No,
Right.
there's no penalty.
Okay, my second question, is there a reason that they aren't? That they don't get done within the 30 days?
We've had this issue going on for a long time.
politics.
How long was it?
Now been
With
resolved.
That's a sidebar for another.
That's a side.
But I think all of us are aware
Okay.
what has taken place.
Go out for drunk.
We gonna,
I just wanna make sure we stay.
we gonna get on track. We gonna get on
I
track.
mean, there's no penalty
We
till
on
you
the
get,
same
until you
page.
get to where you have an approved.
Okay.
The thing is, there's no penalty till you get to where you haven't approved minutes for a year, then you can be dissolved.
Dissolve the city.
So other than that, it just, the law says 30 days, but there is no penalty in the statute, so they kinda understand that sometimes you get behind, I guess, the law does.
We had authorized and approved administrative leave policy.
That's what we are.
Yeah,
Who did the motion?
Nobody yet.
nobody, yeah.
Motion.
Second.
I'll
All in
say,
favor?
Gilby, aye.
Tim Taylor, aye. Go ahead.
That's correct.
Wells, aye.
Motion carried.
That's everybody.
Consideration of the city of Canton streets for submitted to Madison County for road repair.
Can I talk about that, Mayor, real quick?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I had a meeting this morning and I haven't had time to give y'all a brief memo, but just a long story short, this is nothing we have to rush on. The county has had $6 million that they already allocated to all road projects, and there's no city of Canton streets were included. So they're gonna have to go find a whole nother pot of money to do any of our streets. So we need to just take our time, we don't have to rush and do this. So we thought at first we thought we did, but now we do not. So I'm gonna get y'all a memo on that presentation today, but I didn't have time to do it because it was this morning at 10. But there's no rush on that, so y'all might wanna table it and get together, cause what Supervisor Griffin said was kinda try to rank your streets, and you might wanna get with your engineer to help him kinda rank the streets, from which ones are worst to least.
And, on the heels of what, Attorney Banks said, there was one statement that was made about the $6 million pot, that while we were over here deciding and fussing about who would be alderman and who would be mayor, they had to utilize the money. Now, the mayor made a very distinctive statement, and I won't repeat the statement, but it makes a lot of sense. A lot of times in the city of Canton, when things are going on, especially the high dollar things, this particular city is left out. I don't know if it's on purpose, but it's truly done. And then we try to regather and wait on the next Johnny come lately, and we still may not get anything. So we have to keep that in mind as we go, because it's still tough politics. And the one thing about it, we elect supervisors in this county also. So if they're forgetting us at some point, then maybe we should start forgetting them.
That's right.
Bottom line,
That's right.
because they can't keep coming in here strong-arming us on things that we haven't read. And we should take a stand. I mean, we're not at the Alamo, we're not back in history. We should take a stand, and that's the only way we're gonna get the respect that we deserve.
That's right.
Bottom line. I listened to the conversation this morning. I'm not anti-anybody, but I am pro-Canton. And, you know, we ought to get, as Fannie Lou Hyman said, we ought to be sick and tired of getting sick and tired of being left behind and treated like a third world nation. Bottom line, I hope we can look at that in a different light.
But we do need to get more organized and have, like Supervisor Griffin said, a constant wish list with them.
Right.
So we do need to get organized and have a constant wish list with them, and that way we can really hang them to the fact, okay, you got our constant wish list, what are you doing for us?
Let's work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will also.
I take a motion to table item.
So,
I don't get
Mayor, if I may,
Oh, Alderman Gill.
I would also say that when they're having these board meetings, at some point, some of us should be there.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I agree with you.
out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
So they feel like Ken is a separate entity on its own, and we're not asking them for anything, they're not gonna do anything.
Right.
Hey, who can get Jeremy, can you get a calendar of the supervisors' meetings?
Their meetings are normally when, Mr. Taylor?
First Monday, third
But
Monday.
their agenda goes up online, like, I think maybe 3 days before or 2 days before. So
Yeah.
you need to be checking the agendas to see if there's anything on there that y'all want to specifically go to and discuss. Cause they do put their agendas up online.
And they'll always let you come and speak, so if there's an issue, it can always be interjected. So, on the first Monday, first Monday, 9 a.m., third Monday, 5 p.m. So,
Okay.
they switch it up.
I can make a suggestion that the CAO, like their team.
Alderman Askew.
And Mayor, now we have added, components to our city, people representing our city now. Previously, we didn't have a just full-time engineer. And we have done some task orders and some of that, especially when it has to do with streets, they would be keenly aware of it, and they also do some things for the county as well.
They do.
So they probably will be there, and they be able to chime in and make sure that the city of Canton is protected, you know, and our desires are carried forward.
Yeah, they need to help and compile the wish list.
We may need to make them aware of that
Right.
to interject on our behalf when they're there.
Mr. Warren here, hearing us.
He's here.
Really, I was speaking.
I didn't know that was.
I was speaking to him in a way.
You hear what we're saying?
You know what we're saying?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was him.
Yeah.
Let's see here, consideration,
You say you want a motion to table that?
yeah, motion to table, do we have a motion?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Wells,
You're okay,
Tim Taylor.
That's right.
Motion carried. Consideration of discussion for Wilson Technology.
Yes, sir, Mayor. I think Mr. Wilson is on the line, but, everyone should have a copy of his, proposal. And if he wants to speak, he can. If not, and I spoke with him briefly today, but, looking, what he's requesting he's requesting to, do the initial, do consulting work for like $35,500. And then after which, he'd like to tell us, what he planned to do, but that would be an additional fee, in that, and what makes it difficult, I thought about it after the fact, if you consult and then you wanna be the, provider, that's almost like a conflict of interest, when you're doing both of them. So, Mr. Wilson can talk to us and explain whether, he wants to do one or the other. That's my thing. If you thought about it, if you're gonna consult for me and I give you one fee, and then you're gonna give me my niece, and then I have to pay a separate fee, that's something different. I explained to him earlier. We know what our needs are.
Yeah.
We basically need to start from the ground floor with some of the things that we have, which are pretty much not up to date in terms of security and all that stuff. So that's what I wanted everyone to look at that contract, and he should be online. Didn't Miss Clerk Brown?
Yes, you got
That's me one of the things.
Yes, sir, I'm online.
All right, you want to interject anything, Mr. Wilson?
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Board. When I was drafting that, the agreement, in the direction we want to go with that, I'm here to help, Canton. When we're in many of the presentations, I did hear some of the things that, that we discussed, addressing. And of course, some of the things I would need to be able to talk in more detail about IT policy, IT procedures. I just don't know what's already in place. And we did a lengthy discussion about branding Canton, getting a domain, getting away from AOL, Gmail, things of that nature. So those are things I want to come in and see, because I can say some things, like you said, you mentioned about the domain, the email, things in that, but do you have an IT policy in place to address email? Do you have an IT policy in place to address password? Do your employees already have these things that they sign off that they would not share data and things of that nature? I just don't know what all you have in place. So that's what I'm putting in for IT consultant, IT project manager, help on any projects we may need. Also, if you see, we talked about also even website and things of that nature, helping on the police department. There's a length of things that I can come in and assist, writing specs and things of that nature. I think I heard one concern about addressing being able to do that and doing the work. If I need to come in, and like I did when I was sharing with the city of Jackson, I can write the specs and put it out for 2 quotes and be of that service. So I'm flexible into whatever service is needed. I really want to just get in there and get going and help Canton, brand Canton, and make sure that IT, that we can move to the latest and best technology.
Can we get our needs to Mr. Wilson, and then let him give us a quote for those needs? Do y'all prefer to do it that way?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I heard something about the needs. I didn't hear that. Can that be repeated, please?
Can you repeat that for me, Clerk Brown? I don't believe it.
They would like to give you their needs for the city and give it to you, and then you give us a proposal from that.
Okay.
Any answer the concept on the
Anything?
conflict of interest?
Okay.
Because I like to see our CAO meet with them as well.
We got this information, we'll ask him. Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
we have a CAO, a Chief Administrative Officer, that we would like you to sit down with at some point.
Okay.
I will give her your contact information and let Ms. Amos contact you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
In the meantime, I think we need to probably table this.
Yeah, no, this is just a discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, just a
Okay.
discussion.
Oh, it's not, okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
What are we motioning
It's not.
No, it was just a discussion.
Oh, that was just a
Right.
discussion,
Yeah,
okay.
that was different to get you a visit from the state office.
Sure.
You gotta pay that.
Authorize and approve a certificate of appropriateness for 249 and 251 West P Street for door and window repair. The owner is Anthony Bell. The Historic Preservation Commission approved the request on February 3rd, 2022. See attached.
Is that the? Yeah, what do we have? Is that
Y'all have to approve all.
Well, we either have to vote it up right
Everything
now.
you do.
I've been yelling about it for 9 years. But we have to,
Y'all have
they
to
do all
approve.
their job for us to either say yes or no.
Yeah, y'all have to, y'all the last final say on the certificate of approval.
Is that the one we had the
Do
picture?
we have a
Had
motion?
the picture on there yesterday.
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Ken,
Tim Taylor, aye.
Jackie, aye.
How many items do we have?
Let's go out.
4,
Wells,
5, 6.
6.
Seven.
Oh, you heard Mr.
Motion
Blunt?
carried.
What did Ms. Blunt say?
He said yes.
Authorize and approve the COVID-19 guidelines for the swimming pool. Do we have a motion?
Well,
Is there something to evaluate?
who did the guidelines? I read CDC guidelines.
CDC.
Do we have a motion? Twice. Do we have a motion? Three times.
Well, before it dies.
It dies. Do I have a second?
I'll second it if y'all want to talk about it.
If what?
I said I will second it. Sounds like they want us to talk about it.
Okay.
Or it sounds like someone's not sure.
Oh, no.
Well,
When are we opening up the pool?
Yeah, that's what my question will be. When we open the pool up?
I have no idea, Mr.
I wish
Davis.
I had a board jumping right now. It's hot up in here.
I don't think we got a motion. Who made the motion?
nobody made a
No, I
motion.
thought Esther made it. My bad. I was second Esther.
Yeah, nobody made the
Nobody
motion.
made the
Oh.
motion.
No one made a motion.
Mr. Davis?
Alderman Penn just did a second in the absence of a motion.
It just took a long time.
Yes, sir.
Yes, basically, the pool need to be, well, first I need to get the guideline in order, so when I have a, meeting with Coach Wash and get out, so he can have with his staff, that's basically, that was my concept, to get with him. I need to have some rules in place due to the fact, over the year that has been down, so we can have some things in order for the new lifeguards and everybody, in place. That's basically one of the reasons why I asked y'all guys to, approve the new guideline, COVID guideline.
What, you got a projected date when you gonna open up?
Well, normally it's open up in May, but you have to get the lifeguard training and things of that nature. The last weekend in May mostly, we try to get the swimming pool open.
You've been closed how many years now? 1,
2 years.
2 years.
They completed all the repairs over there?
Yeah, they completed, yes, on the pool, as far as the resurfacing the pool, yes.
Okay. What about the roof? It was
The roof, the insurance have given me the money now. I just finished that up, so we're in the process of getting it taken care of now.
Mayor
Yes, ma'am.
and board, meeting briefly with Mr. Davis, Parks and Recreation, especially in this aspect, is, they are in desperate need of you all to help move them forward. They are behind the 8 ball. The spring is coming. They're trying really, really desperately to be prepared for the youth, to make sure that they have a place to go and that they have the lifeguards and everyone in place. But he really does need the guidelines, to be approved so that he will have something for training, for managers, for training for lifeguards. And so that the folks that are coming in are already, he can have all of his signs up and those type of things. If you push it further into another session or another month, we just continue to push it further. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
And Mayor, if I may add, while Mr. Davis is here, the meeting we had today about the congressional package that we're gonna put together, I hope somewhere down the road and very soon that we consider, based on what we have at Redwood Park, the pool that we have, I hope at some point we start thinking about expanding that. If the city's gonna grow, all the entities in the city should be going also. That pool, that particular pool, which most people who come here, if they come from nice facilities, is considered a water hole.
Right.
So with what we have over there in that particular community, and even with the potential of growth with another pool in the city, I just hope that's considered, and I hope that we can also amend our package when we take this congressional package to Washington DC to be inclusive of what we need for our kids in this particular city. So you're looking at from the 60s up until the late 1990s, there have been no changes in that particular situation over at Redwood Park. A lot of things have diminished. The park itself, the baseball field has diminished, and nothing else is growing over there. So I hope that when we put this congressional package together, that we will consider, we talk about what we're gonna do for the children, so whatever we're gonna do, let's make it attractive. We did have one young man to swim in the Olympics, but you know, you can't take all the credit for the unlike Olympic pool that we have in Canton. It's not an Olympic pool, and I think we should be considering that as we go, and we're requesting these things and make sure we get the best bang for the buck, and knowing that we are actually providing the necessities for our citizens and our youth in Canton.
Speaking of him, he did a great job this weekend in Indianapolis from his university in the swim meet this weekend also. Mr. Cameron Glassfield.
Yeah, we gave him the key to the city when you and I first came on.
Yep.
Yes.
Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make the motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Tim Taylor, aye.
Guilty, aye.
Well,
Yes, go ahead.
Motion carried. Consideration of an emergency purchase of a touchless garbage truck versus extended waste management contract into the newly annexed area effective April 1st, 2021.
And I have a little note down there that it can be discussed in executive session.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
okay.
Item 22, discussion of old business. Discussion of old business.
Yeah, I'd like to add an item to discussion of old business. Of course, we know that we've talked about this before, the lighting situation out on Nissan Parkway. And if we look at the replica of what's been going on out there on 22 across from Amazon, I was out there the other night, and I see that they have a light on top of a light that's got it pretty much lit up. So I don't know what we're gonna do. I know we've kicked this can down the road for the last 2 years concerning our lighting, and I remember a discussion with Chief Brown. There was one particular situation where a truck hit a light and we still hadn't repaired it. And of course, Nissan Parkway is as dark as anything. You don't see anything out there at night. So I hope we take, we get effective with this process before something very traumatic. And I don't know if I can put very in front of traumatic because it's describing a situation, but I think we need to get ahead of this and fix our lighting situation in Canton. Also, coming into Canton off exit 19, 119, yeah, 119, it's dark. It's very dark.
Yes.
And I know the trees need to be cut back, and I don't know if we need new lighting on that exit or what. But as we grow, and I think you can see the great divide coming off of 119, coming into Canton is dim, but when you come off 119, going back toward Flora, it's lit up.
Right.
We are the city of lights, and in order to continue with that name and put the effectiveness of what lighting is all about, we've got to pump some light into our situation, and we need to really get on top of this before something devastating happens to someone because of our dimming of the lights.
Yes, sir. Alderman Will.
Well, Mayor, you know, it's been probably a year since Attorney Banks sent a letter to the commissioner concerning light.
No response.
Yeah,
No response.
no response. Consider talking about lighting at the lighting at the interstate above and below. The bridge is not lit that well there at the exit, and again, she said she had no response.
Yeah.
So I think we need to,
I'll call him tomorrow.
okay. So, yeah,
We'll
we,
call him together.
okay, and reach
Yeah,
back,
we can definitely follow up.
yeah, follow back up with it, yeah.
I think we need to.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Those lights on 22, where McDonald's and, Dollar General and all those, like, a lot of those bulbs are out.
Out.
Who's responsible for replacing those? CMU? Okay, well, we need to make contact with CMU because they need to be changed.
And the
That's
tree,
a lot of.
the tree,
Yeah,
I-
trees
I-
have to be trimmed.
I rode by, there yesterday evening, and I counted 10 from the time from McDonald's
back
all the way
across
through.
bridge, uh-huh.
It's a total of 42 hours.
42? Okay. I know
How
I
many
counted
hours?
10,
Since
but
42.
it's a significant number of them that are out.
Do you have all those,
Where is it?
do you
This
have
is,
a count
right
of
here on
those?
Peach Street, where Peach turns
Right.
into, 22.
You don't have a list of that, do you, Mr. Davis? It's just off your
Yeah.
head?
Yes, I think, you gave me a, I was out one meeting, then we did a count on all the light and the trimming. In order, CMU was tied up on several times, and in order to get a lift truck, it's gonna, lift for my department to trim the trees back, I need to get a portable lift and have some guys to do, because CMU, when they are not busy, I think they have had a lot of individuals who have left them, they are trying to go through a hiring process. It have been approached to them about it, but the time frame is more or less, they have they are limited to several electricity guys in their department right now. But I did give a count of how many bulbs, call Urban Lighting, I have the bulbs that's gonna come in for replacement on 22. It's a total 42 out, but then also too from Love Truck Stop, I think somewhere Marcus told me there's a transformer, something that's out also too.
I did see somebody working over across from the clinic.
Okay.
They were,
No, I don't know what they're doing now. They're doing some type of work there, but they are. Yes, I have addressed this issue with Marcus at CMU, and that's where we are on that part. But as far as getting while the trees are more like everything's dormant now, we're just gonna get a lift boom truck from Puckett Rental and just ride down the whole entire, because CMU's just have definitely been too busy to go in and do it.
So Parks and Rec gonna do it?
Well, that's unless we can outsource it.
Is there a license that you have to do that type of work? You don't?
No. Well, no, I'm not changing the bulb. I'm talking about just trim the trees.
Okay.
Just due to the trees, while everything's most likely dormant now, and more. That's basically where we are now. Basically, all you have pin oak, post oak trees that's out there now. That's basically what you have. The type of trees you have, more or less going along.
it is.
Yeah.
Even the ones that
But I'll
are
give you guys an
big.
update on the next meeting on what it'll take.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Will you also be responsible for contacting CMU to get them to?
Well, I have talked with Marcus on that, but due to the fact of he replied that they are short-staffed with individuals that have in their department there now, and they have other day-to-day routine that they're doing. But it have been mentioned, and I have not done a work order, but it's more or less like it have been in the past. When a accident, something happened to one of the poles, they'll come in and repair things, but it may be in its work taken care of. But as far as a work order done, Mayor, Mr. Esco, I have not done that though, to CMU.
Yeah.
Mr. Davis, can you have that number for me, Tuesday at 10?
The number for CMU or Marcus?
No, for, they asked
Yeah.
for, you guys asking for you asking for a quote of how much it would cost to source out or something?
Yes, well, it was a quote for to get the lift to go down through.
You're right.
Yes, well, I already have the lift
Oh,
quote.
you have? Okay, perfect.
I have one. I've gotten it from Puckett Rental. How much that machine will cost for me and my guys to be able to get all the stuff up.
Okay.
All right.
Let me get it tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. You want to win now? Tomorrow?
You have it
Okay.
already, right?
Oh, yes, okay, I have it. Hold on, I can print it off.
Oh, you got a print in your pocket?
You might have one.
He said he gonna put it all right now.
Any other old business?
even with old business, we have to look at, and I hate to say this, and I know it's redundant, we said this in the meeting today with myself, the mayor, and Alderman Esco. If this was Madison, we wouldn't take excuses like that. It's dim, it needs to be lit. That's the idea that the city could be leaning toward becoming a blighted city when we don't take care of the fundamental things in the city. So I know we got a CEO on board now. I think it's time to put some fire under the people who are supposed to be doing the necessary things to keep the lights bright in the city of Canton. No excuses. Anywhere else, it wouldn't be tolerated. And as productive, and even tomorrow, Thursday, Nissan has something that they're going to unveil. It's in every major newspaper. But what if this unveiling goes into the nighttime and all this stuff is dark out there on a premier business, a Fortune 500 business in the city of Canton? That doesn't speak highly of it. All I'm saying is, I think the people who are responsible for doing what they're supposed to do, I think we're supposed to put some fire on them. And it doesn't matter who they are. So I hope we'll go forward with that. That's all I have for old business.
And I have something.
Yes, sir.
Just speaking back on what Alderman Taylor said, can't we send a directive to the CMU board, coming from our board, saying that these things, these projects that we just mentioned, lighting projects, is a necessity for our city, and we would like to see them completed within a certain time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I think we get results, because when one or two just action, they don't feel other business come, because it's not on the table.
Not priority,
But if we send a directive and it's on their agenda, and they'll take action one way or the other. And if it's one way, if they say no, then that's one thing. And if they say yes, that's another. So, and it depends on what they say. We'll respond.
Okay. And one more piece of old business, Mayor. The Adeline Street project is still incomplete. It's still posing a environmental hazard and a health hazard. We have not come to a conclusion on this yet. I know the mayor spoke with CMU, did a very good job, but there's been no movement on this. Please keep in mind, there are human beings involved in this, and everybody's life is a quality of life, and we should, on our behalf, take advantage, take an interest in that. So, raw sewage, human manure, human waste, and whatever street name you want to call it, is still a problem in the city of Canton. We're not in, I'm sorry?
Do you want to do a directive like Alderman Esco just stated and ask them to get you some kind of response back by a certain time frame on that issue too?
Well, I don't think they're gonna do it. They offered $500, but that's not gonna fix the problem.
Yeah, because one or two.
Okay.
That's been individual requests.
Okay.
We'll be sending this request from this board.
Okay.
This board is directing.
Okay, I got
So
you.
I make the motion.
Okay,
You gotta make the motion to add it first.
okay,
Yeah, to add that and to get that underway.
okay,
On both items.
okay,
Both items, okay.
great, okay, all right.
Do we have a second?
Well, to add that, we gotta add it to the agenda.
Because the homeowner's been very
Oh, yeah.
patient.
Well, it's that discussion of old business.
Okay.
That's why you could put
So-
it in,
Yeah, so it's,
just make a motion.
yeah, okay.
Okay,
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Brown eye.
Tim Taylor, aye.
Hannah,
Guilty, aye.
Wells,
Yes, go ahead.
Motion carried.
So now it's added to name, make a motion on those items.
So moved.
Second.
What is the motion?
Yeah,
To
So
take
they
on.
send a directive to CMU.
Okay, that
Do
was-
y'all, how many days you wanna give to respond on both of those issues? 14 days or what? 10 days?
7.
7 days.
7?
They've already had these issues before.
Yeah.
So we tired of playing.
And a second.
We ain't playing no more.
Send to the director to CMU.
We in business.
All in favor?
The city's a whole.
Do we have a motion?
Yeah, we
It
do.
was moved in second.
It is. You just call for the vote.
Oh, all in favor?
Brown eye.
Tim Taylor, aye.
Guilty, aye.
Wells,
Yes, go ahead.
I'm both of it. I think
Hannah,
I'm
aye.
both saying.
Any more discussions on the old business?
Motion carried. Any other discussion?
No.
No.
None. one.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Mayor,
I read it.
I got unread.
Doesn't unreadness by Alderman Esco?
It says for the mayor and board of aldermen of the National League of Cities, the item, that first item, do we need to add anyone else to that, like Melon Garrett or something like that? I don't know whether they would go.
Yeah, we did discuss it.
We talked about that
Yeah.
today at our meeting.
Yeah, that's fine.
I know the right dates.
Those are the right days.
I have a question.
No,
she's
she's not
on
going.
there to go. I got a question though about that. Why are we sending Mel?
To my Melon Garrett,
Mhm.
because we have a flood project that, that we're gonna present.
Y'all might wanna share that with everybody, because that's a conversation that you all had with the rest of us. Didn't know
Right.
anything
Well,
about
yeah,
it.
You're right.
Yeah, we were going,
Conversation
you know,
wasn't had upon.
the mayor stated that that we met today, and we were gonna discuss what we met about, and he said.
Once we get the package
Yeah,
together.
once we get the package together, but that was part of the discussion unless, and the only reason why it won't be necessary if the engineers prepare the package and do the presentation, help do the presentation about our needs and areas, in engineer language.
That was a part of the plan
Yeah,
that
in
they already,
engineer
that we
language.
already discussed, am I correct?
No, he doesn't know he's meeting with us Thursday.
Right.
No, I'm saying, that was discussed with Mr. Warren and them when we talked about the plan, that they will be there
At the retreat.
at the
Right, yeah.
congressional meeting to discuss the plan that they are actually creating for us.
Right. Yeah, they're putting it together.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
and they will be available,
Right.
so.
Can we
So
ask?
may I ask a question? Sure. Alderwoman Guilty and, let's go. What's the advantage, how, if Wagner does the presentation, I don't know I don't know if he can, do you guys know if they can present as well or better than Mr. Garrett? I'm asking, I'm not, because if we're talking about reading from something, then that's one thing, but if you're talking about someone that's on the ground, that is
In the
actually
trenches, right.
an intricate part of this, of the projects, and actually knows the city and knows these streets and roads and bridges better than anybody, because he's in it and on it every single day and has been for years. I would think that him presenting, being there to answer any questions or be able to elaborate would help a little bit more than having, than just having someone that we had paid to, to package our, our deal and just present it, because, I mean, there may be many people in here that are orators. You can speak on something
Yeah.
and it can sound like really good, but when it comes from, right here, and someone that's been in there, then I think that you all, I would like for you all to think about that, to kind of, shuffle it around. Now, I'm not trying to make Mr. Garrett go. He may not want to get on the plane. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he wanna go, he from Chula, he don't have to go anywhere.
I'm just saying, if that makes any sense. I'm just trying to.
It does, but I don't like it when everybody on the board doesn't know what
understand.
the conversation that's
Right.
being
That
had,
happened, right.
behind closed doors.
Yeah.
It's not fair to us. We all have a vote,
Right.
Right.
but I wanna know before I vote what the conversation was.
Right.
It should be discussed
Right.
with us, with everybody.
Everybody.
Not just the conversation that was had today.
So if that's what you all, if that's what you all discussed in your meeting,
So I
share it with,
Right.
I don't know what you discussed.
Well,
But share it with the rest of the board.
Right, it was on the
Yeah.
agenda, but the mayor said that we would discuss it at a later time, and so that's why we didn't discuss it. That's why I didn't discuss it.
Okay.
But
Well,
it's-
it was a preliminary conversation, we
Yeah.
just only met for about 45 minutes.
Okay,
So,
But we can call a special meeting Friday.
and we don't have to vote on that today.
Yeah.
Well, it would be my suggestion, Mayor, that we will vote on what we originally said.
Okay.
The motion, what we have on paper, and we'll discuss the other matter at a later date.
Yeah, we can always go at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Guilty, aye?
And,
Tim Taylor.
Wells, aye.
Let's go out.
Carried. I want to make one comment before we go into, executive session. And I'm gonna need help from someone. Some of the department heads are going to come before us and make a presentation. And the presentation is going to be pertaining to a certain matter. I'm going to ask the aldermen if they would to narrow their questions just to that presentation, as opposed to going beyond the boundaries of the presentation that has no relevance to the presentation. So with that said, I'll entertain a motion. Tim knows what I'm talking about. With that said, I entertain a motion. We go into executive session.
Motion.
We have I need a motion. All in favor?
Who made the motion?
Alderman Ben,
Okay.
second.
Brown eye.
Wells, aye.